Alright, welcome back, folks. Obviously, we're out in the garage working on the Firebird tonight and putting on the nitrous plate from Nitrous Express, as well as we're going to be putting on my 4-hole 2-inch aluminum spacer plate, and then putting back the Brawler carburetor on top. So I got new ARP studs that are longer to accommodate for all that extra stuff. So that's what we're doing right here. Alright, we just got our 2-inch 4-hole 2-inch spacer, as well as our Nitrous Express mainline nitrous plate installed. I had to get new ARP carburetor studs to fit all that junk on there. I'm not going to hook up the nitrous for quite a while, but I want the plate onto there in case it makes any difference in the carburetor tune. I just want it to be on there already, instead of having to take it all apart and put it in there later and then have to change jetting in my carburetor to account for it. So I'm not sure if it'll make a difference at all being on there right now, but it is on there. So the solenoid should be closed and shouldn't be a vacuum issue. If it is, I can put vacuum caps on the ends of these, plug them off. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna see if it clears the hood. Kind of the whole reason I got this hood was to clear a air cleaner with all that stuff on there. So we're gonna go ahead and see right now if it does. Let me move my tools. Set those there. And then grab the work light down. Move my fender skirts. Sorry, doing this with one hand. Alright, so right now it's sitting up against this stop. Oh, won't go into the hole because the trash from the ARP box is in the way. Alright. Perfect. So there it is. Jacked up right now. We're still working on that fuel leak currently. Anyway, so yeah, it closes, latches. I'm sure it's got a decent amount of clearance in there. It'd be interesting to see. Hold on, let's see if I can turn my flashlight on a second. See if we can see down in there. Can we focus through the bars or no? No, not really. Well, anyway. Okay, we're gonna try this again. See if we can see in there or not. Okay. I believe what we're seeing right here is still fiberglass. And then we can, yeah, right there's the top of the lid. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's probably a good inch and a half, maybe even 2 inches clearance between the top of the hood and the top of the air cleaner. That is exactly what we're looking for. Go ahead and pop the hood. Ta-da! That thing's pretty tall. So if you come to the sides here, and we look over the fenders, peeks out, well, probably 2 inches, 3 inches out of the hood. So that's why we needed this hood here, because just with the Team G intake, the carburetor and that air cleaner with the stock hood wouldn't fit. It didn't clear by about 1 inch. So now I've got, I don't know, probably, I think it's about a 1/2 inch nitrous plate, 2-inch spacer, and then the carburetor and the air cleaner. And it all clears just like I want it to. So that is awesome. Success. Ooh. Gotta wipe some of that grease off. Time to put a fuel cell in. Gonna forego the stock tank for right now. It's just, I'm having nothing but issues with the welding sump. It's leaking all over the place. So we're gonna go ahead and swap to a fuel cell, and one with a sending unit, hopefully, that we can make work with our stock gauges up there, and get her right back in here. Be able to work with our 10AN fuel lines, and hopefully that'll solve all of our leaking issues. Alright, so we're out here, and it is, let's see, Saturday, August 10th. Working on the Firebird in the garage out here. My daughter's playing over there. Wife's cutting the lawn. Thank her for doing that, so I can do this. Anywho, last shot was of the hole in the trunk area of this video, and now we've got. So this is my kind of semi-temporary setup for right now of the fuel cell. This is my vent hose. It goes out through the bottom hole right down there. This is the return line, and then down in here we got our 10AN out. So obviously these aren't bolted to anything right here, so it can move up and down, but it's solid side to side. So up underneath the carpet, I haven't hooked the sending unit up yet, but that's that right there. And it's bolted in, straps right there and there, and then we fill it right there. So yeah, it's kind of in here, pretty halfway decent. And then up underneath, I'll get down here for you guys. Got the suspension hooked back up. But anyway, there's the vent right there, and the tank clears right there on that arm, and then it's far enough back so that when the differential goes up, it won't hit the tank. All right, so yeah, when the rear differential comes up, right now, as you can see right here, the torque arm sitting on the ground, okay? Not hooked up. When it is hooked up, this thing tilts forward quite a bit. So when it comes up, it will clear the fuel cell there. I have tested that already. So that's all good there. And obviously, this is gonna need some more support on this end so that it doesn't move up and down. But I'm happy with it for right now. It'll get me around without leaking fuel anymore, which is the goal. What's in here? Little nitrous express. It's empty. It's not ready yet. Boy, what have I done to this thing? There we go. Yeah, this plastic interior is not of the best quality on these things. So anyway, I've also been having this issue with the transmission, as you guys probably know if you watch the videos. And I believed it to be the 2-4 servo as it affected 2nd and 4th gear. Let's see. Can I turn the light on this thing while I'm filming? Hold on a second. Okay, so here's what we got. Right there is the 2-4 servo, okay? I've already swapped it out. That's the Sonics one. Complete pin kit and 2-4 pistons and all that stuff. So anyway, we're putting the transmission back up in because I had thought I'd just, you know, drop the back end of the transmission down enough to be able to get that servo in and out. And unfortunately that didn't work out due to my solid motor mounts and everything else. I just You gotta take the torque arm out of this, otherwise you can't get this cross member back up in there well. It fights you, and it takes about 3 hours to get all the bolts to line up. It's a massive pain. So if you take the torque arm out, you can bolt this sucker up in about 10 minutes. And then you just have to deal with putting the torque arm back on that, which takes about an hour and a half instead of the 3 hours of fighting this. It's a pain, but it works out. So anyhow, I found out after I took all this stuff off and dropped the transmission down that it only drops down about 1 inch, which was definitely not enough to get up in there. So I decided to go for the cut in the body here. So we'll go ahead and go up top and take a look at that. Alright, I got a mess of tools here, as well as some other paper shreds and stuff. I had a McDonald's bag that a mouse got into in here over winter, and it shredded it all up. But anyway, this is what we're looking at. Hold on, let me turn this light on. Okay, this is my scatter shield for the transmission. Servo's right behind it. I just ended up cutting this out, folding it up, so you can fold it back down. And put the carpet back over top of it to get the servo out. And it worked all right, except I cut my finger open, but on this jagged bit right there. But I'm all right. So hopefully it'll like it's supposed to now. Yeah, now I just got to fight the torque arm back onto the transmission, or onto the transmission cross member mount, as well as the rear end. Which turns out, because I cut this hole in here, didn't have to take it off anyway, but it is what it is. We'll just have to get that back together, and then we can get some fuel in the tank, start it up, check transmission fluid level. It definitely lost some pulling that out, because after I pulled that servo out, I cut myself, had to go in and patch myself up, and then by the time I came back out, there's probably about a quart of fluid on the floor. Whatever. We'll top it back up, and then we'll drive it and see how it works. And maybe we'll need to do some TV cable adjustments, but I'm hoping that this servo works correctly. So we'll see. Alright, so Firebird's all back together. We are gonna go and grab 5 gallons of gas, because it's only probably got about 2 in the cell. Take the Escalade. I think this sucker might have a check engine light on. Alright. We'll have to get rid of that. But anyway, there's Firebird. Everything's all back together. Exhaust is back on. Suspension's back up underneath. Yeah, tires bolted on. So we just got to get some gas, warm it up, and check the transmission level, fluid level. Top that off, set her down, and then we can take it for a drive. So we're gonna go get gas at I think probably the Wesco here in town, because I think the other station's closed. Maybe not, it's only 10 o'clock. But we'll swing by the AGO first and see if they're open. Here we go. Alright, we're back. Got our fuel. Too many cars out here, not sure where I'm gonna park this thing. I guess right over here. I did shut the check engine light off. It was a evap large leak detected, so could have been gas cap or something, but anywho. Okay, so it is Sunday the 11th of August. Can't believe it's August already, wow. Anyway, last night we put the fuel cell in. That's the return line right there, and that's the vent hose. It's underneath the carpet there. So we put that in last night, and we swapped out the servo, the 2.4 servo, in the transmission, hoping that would correct the shifting issue that it had, and it did not. So there's no change in the transmission issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the transmission pan, take the valve body out, and look at the 1-2 accumulator pistons and the 3-4 accumulator pistons. Make sure that they're working as they should, and then inspect the governor. And I may go ahead and put the rest of the Transgo full manual kit in the valve body to kind of bypass the governor, and then do a couple little tricks with the accumulator pistons to make sure that they will work properly as well. So that's going to be the next video. This is the ending to the last video, but yeah, anyway, that's that. So thanks for watching.